Just want to welcome the nominees who are before us here this morning. And I'd like to, Mr. Kerlikowwske, ask you, or at least visit with you a little bit about something that I think you know because we've talked about it in my office. But Senator Wyden and I have been engaged in an ongoing dialogue with the CPB over the last few years regarding duties that have gone uncollected on imports of Chinese honey, garlic, crawfish, and mushrooms. You and I discussed this issue when we met last year, and while I greatly appreciate the effort that the CPB has made to work with my staff on this matter, I believe more remains to be done. And just as an example, on January 2nd, we received a letter from Acting CBP Commissioner Winkowski that stated that there were roughly $140 million in imports of Chinese honey between 2000 and 2007, and that there's more than $100 million in bonds posted on these imports not yet collected. Yet we still don't know how much of this amount is currently in litigation and how much is likely to be collected. And it's important, I would say, to the South Dakota honey producers that duties owed on these imports are collected, and I hope that, if confirmed, CBP will provide a full accounting of the outstanding bonds at issue, and that you'll continue CBP's efforts toward a comprehensive collection strategy. I want to ask a question. Last year I introduced a bill that would increase the dollar limit below which imports are not subject to tariffs and formal entry procedures. It's known as the de minimis level. And what the bill would do is it would raise this level, which hasn't been updated in 20 years, from $200 to $800. It's a provision that's included in the Customs Reauthorization Bill that I hope this committee is going to consider at some point soon, and is supported by a broad range of companies, including express delivery companies like UPS and FedEx. So my question is, would you agree that reducing the paperwork burdens on private companies and on CBP associated with imports is important and will have a positive economic benefit?
Senator, every trade group, and I've met with UPS, FedEx, et cetera, every trade group is very encouraged by the fact that automation is underway, and they have put their own time and their own resources into making sure that they'll be a part of the ACE system and others, making things more transparent through automation, making it easier and less and more efficient and less costly would be a major goal if I'm confirmed.
Okay. Well, hopefully we can get you some legislation too that would help, get that issue addressed in statute and get the law updated, which is 20 years old, as I mentioned. In October of last year, I sent a letter to CBP regarding exclusion orders issued by the International Trade Commission under Section 337 of the Tariff Act, which, as you know, deals with enforcement of intellectual property rights. And I was joined on that letter by Senators Wyden, Portman, and Cantwell. We sent the letter due to concerns from U.S. companies that these orders are not being effectively enforced. And the response I received indicates that CBP is in the process of making changes to how it implements these orders, such as by developing a process by which more parties that are impacted will have an opportunity to make their views known to CBP. The letter states that CBP believes these process reforms will have, and I quote, tremendous benefits. Do you know when CBP intends to implement the reforms I just mentioned, and do you have any views regarding how CBP can better coordinate with the International Trade Commission regarding enforcement of exclusion orders?
Senator, I've had briefings on some of this. I certainly don't know the answer to that question about when CBP would undertake and be responsive on the changes necessary. But those communities that have briefed me and the people within CBP are very intent on enforcing those rules. I also know that it is complex and it can be a bit problematic. If I'm in the position and if I'm confirmed, I would certainly make sure that the enforcement of all of the rules and regulations around that would take place.
Mr. Chairman, I have a couple of other questions, but they're questions I think I can submit for the record, so thank you.